So we're all getting vaccinated and nearing the post-pandemic era, which means for me, I actually get to see people. And with people comes a lot of eating out. Now that we're opening up, I feel the pressure to go out and eat with friends or go into dinner parties, which means spending more. And if you're like me, you might get anxious knowing that the amount you spend on groceries every week pre-pandemic is equal to the amount you spend on one lavish dinner post-pandemic. That is until I discover these 4 ways that I can reduce my spending and hence reduce my anxiety in eating out. Now kids, the best way to spend less money is to not spend it at all. But if you feel the pressure of going out, or if you want to go to lavish meals but not feel so guilty about it, listen up. Learn how I reduce my weekly dining spending without reducing the amount of times I go out by at least 20% every week. Let's go. In this channel, we talk about careers in tech and product management in Silicon Valley, starting a business, and minimalist personal finances. Consider subscribing for more. Now, this first tip I'm going to tell you about is about this app that I recently discovered that gets you about 15 to 30% in cashback for any meal that you spend if you reserve on their platform. It's called Seated. Whenever you need a reservation for lunch or dinner, open up the Seated app and look for a restaurant in the area that you want to be eating at. You can walk in immediately or make a reservation. Input how many people you want as part of that reservation and make the booking. You should get email and text confirmations afterwards. Now, what you do when you get to the restaurant and finish your meal and receive the receipt, open up the app, take a picture of your receipt, making sure you show the restaurant address, the timestamp, and the total amount. Upload the receipt and wait for Seated to approve your reward. Later on, you'll get cash back, which is equal to a certain percentage of your total meal, which you can then use for all the participating stores and restaurants on the app. It's as simple as that. I've gone to a restaurant that took up to 27% of my total meal. The nice thing is I paid for a couple other people who were with me, and so effectively got my money back from that entire meal. Another nice thing is you can reserve a meal and spot in a restaurant early and in advance. You can pick a specific date and book a reservation then and there from the Seated app. Now, one downside to this is that it's limited to certain cities. Thankfully, it's here in New York, but it might not be applicable in your city, so check out their website to see more. And another downside is that there are only a couple participating restaurants, though I believe that there are more coming in, and so you'll be limited to the restaurants that are participating on Seated. Other than that, it's a really great deal. Check it out, download it on the App Store. Tip number 2 is another app that I recently discovered that lets you buy food that's going to be thrown out anyway at the end of the day at a significant discount. I made a TikTok about this and it went viral. Here it is. I just found an insane hack that gets you this much food for only $9. It's an app that lets you get the food from restaurants that are going to dump it out anyway. It's called Too Good To Go. Choose a restaurant and get their food for a discounted price. Save the earth and get cheap food. It's called Too Good To Go. What you do is open up the app and look at the restaurants that are giving away food at the specific time. You pay for bags of that food, get however many you want, and you pay for it at a significant discount from the original price. You'll see $4, $5, or $6 price ranges. Insane. You then pick up your bags at that specific location and bring it home to eat. You also feel pretty nice inside because you're reducing food waste for food that was going to be thrown out anyway. It's so cheap and so environmentally friendly. Definitely download it. A couple downsides though are that it's only available in certain cities, so check out their website to see if your city is participating. It's also only limited to certain restaurants that specifically are going to be throwing out food at the end of the night. These are typically pizza places or bakeries or pastry places. So restaurants where you'll have a lavish and expensive meal are probably not going to be incentivized to go onto the platform. It hey, a really good deal anyway. The next tip is a general personal finance tip, and that's using rewards cards and maximizing the amount of points you receive so you're effectively getting cash back for things that you spend on. A lot of the rewards cards will give high rewards specifically to food, groceries, and dining out, so you're, I guess, somewhat incentivized to spend. For the reward card I use, which is the Chase Sapphire Rewards card, I get 3% cash back on dining, which is a very generous offer. What I'll do once I receive the points is I'll go to my Chase portal and use their pay yourself back feature so that the points that I accumulated and pay for the expenses that are shown on this pay yourself back feature. It's kind of cool. Basically paying $0 for certain types of expenses so long as I can recoup it with the points that I earn. Highly recommend. The one downside is that a lot of these rewards cards will have annual fees, and the better the perks, the higher the annual fee. For my Chase Sapphire Rewards card, for example, I have to pay a $550 annual fee. Over time, if I travel enough, it'll subtract $300 for travel credit. So I'm effectively paying $250 per year. And if I have a lot of these benefits, I'm also reducing that amount, but it's still a pretty hefty fee, so something to consider. Last but not least is one of my favorite apps, and it's completely free. It reduces the amount of time you waste when you sit in a restaurant with a large group of people, and then you have to calculate,
oh, Nick owes this much to Mika, or Amy owes this much to Mika, or Fred owes this much to Mika, and do the whole calculation of tax, tip, etc., etc., etc.
This is so perfect for the moment when your friends say, hey, yeah, to make it easier, let's split the bill evenly, when you only got an appetizer specifically to save money. It's called Tab. So what happens is you take a picture of the receipt, and then Tab will convert that receipt into something that you can now pick and choose who ate what. You can even split certain items directly from Tabs. So for example, 3 out of 5 people ate the appetizer, but 4 out of 5 people ate the dessert. You can easily decide and show who ate what straight from Tab. When you're all done, click Next, input the tax, and the tax will also calculate based on the percentage of who ate the most and who ate the least. So it's fair and equal for everyone. Feel free to add a certain percentage of a tip, which it'll calculate for you automatically, or input your tip of choosing directly. And then you get a summary of who owes what. Take a picture, send it to your group chat, or Venmo directly from Tab. It's so good, saves so much time, and eases the anxiety that I have whenever someone says, let's split the bill evenly. There is still the need to verify who ate what every single time, but for me, worth the work. You're gonna have to do it anyway. There was one time where we used Tab, looked at the receipt very meticulously, and found out that the waiter charged us $30 more than what we bought. So it's also a good forcing function for you to actually look at your receipt and verify your purchases. Now, I am a tech startup founder, and while hopefully I will make billions of dollars once I'm a unicorn, I'm still at the phase where I'm living a minimalist personal finance life, and talk about how much I spend in a week, for example, in some of my videos like the one here. Feel free to check it out. Now kids, the best way to not spend money on food is to not eat out. But if you're like me and given to social pressures of friends inviting you to dinner places and joining dinner parties where you know no one, then indulge in my lessons and reduce the anxiety when you spend while you splurge. I'll catch you next time. Bye! I get pretty... There's too much. Oh my god, say it again. Go. If you're new to this channel,
No, I'm sorry.